Not every horror game is meant to be comfortable. Some are built to test your nerves and stay in your head longer than you'd like. The next wave of upcoming titles looks ready to cross lines, blur reality, and push players further than usual. If you're looking for something safe, this might not be it.
Let's go back to the start.
In the War of the Worlds, Siberia, the classic alien invasion story moves into late 19th century Russia. Martian machines have already pushed through parts of Europe, and now the Russian Empire faces the fallout. Instead of busy Western capitals, the setting stretches across Petrograd and into the cold, open lands of Siberia. Snowy streets, broken rail lines, and tense communities shape the atmosphere. The gameplay is a third-person shooter with a steady, tactical pace. Players use weapons that match the time period, like revolvers, early rifles, and even the first machine guns. Ammo is limited, so every fight matters. Some situations are better handled quietly, using cover and smart positioning instead of rushing in. Developed by 1C Game Studios, the team builds on H.G. Wells' original idea while shaping it around Russian history and culture. Their approach leans into atmosphere and storytelling rather than non-stop action.
A key to my warehouse at the new market. There are almost no weapons there. But there's dynamite. My apologies, comrades. We have to go. Hey! Sorry, comrades, but I have a steamboat to catch.
But how could he? I mean...
I Must Find Her is an upcoming adventure game where a deep mystery drives the experience. In this story, something important is missing. Someone who desperately wants to be found by others, and you'll follow clues and environments to piece together what happened. The setting isn't loud or full of action set pieces, it's more about atmosphere and discovery. Gameplay plays out in first person and focuses on exploration and light puzzle solving. You move through different areas, interact with objects, read clues, and unlock new paths as you learn more. There's no heavy combat system pushing you forward. Progress depends on paying attention and thinking things through. The project is developed and published by Evil Deal Games, an indie studio working to blend storytelling with immersive world design. The team seems focused on creating an experience that feels intimate and driven by emotion.
Gabriele?
Hey, it's me. Just got to the family house.
Hey, I've been trying not to think about it all day. How bad is it?
It's like a nightmare. But one that knows all your secrets.
It's the dive. It's messing with your head. Just breathe.
What do you want from me?
No. Death is not escape. Access to your accept.
Shut up!
Dante's Bloodline draws inspiration from Dante Alighieri's legacy and turns it into a personal mystery. Every 33 years, something dark resurfaces, and Gabriel Alighieri returns to his family's old villa to face it. The house feels quiet but heavy with history. Old journals, hidden rooms, and strange symbols slowly reveal why his bloodline is tied to a ritual meant to hold back something beyond normal understanding. Gameplay is played in first person and focuses on exploration and puzzle solving. You search through rooms, read notes, gather fragments of a lost manuscript, and unlock new areas by understanding how pieces connect. The pace is steady, giving time to absorb the environment and think through each step. Instead of chasing action, this game centers on discovery and personal history, offering a quieter but meaningful journey through mystery and legacy. Save Birmingham puts players into a gritty medieval England, where a strange plague has turned Birmingham into a zombie-infested survival challenge. Instead of a polished story campaign, the early access version focuses on open-ended survival in a sandbox version of the 14th century town. The gameplay mixes third-person shooting with survival and simple physics interaction. Weapons fit the time period, like pitchforks and axes, and combat feels slow and careful instead of non-stop. Staying alive means using the environment, such as blocking doors with furniture, climbing over objects, or trapping enemies in smart ways. Save Birmingham is being developed by Ocean Drive Studio, an indie team creating a medieval zombie survival game with a strong historical touch. They've highlighted sandbox gameplay and player freedom during early access, and slowly build more story elements over time. The Sinking City 2 moves the original's strange world into a larger survival horror experience. Set in the flooded streets of Arkham in the 1920s, this sequel was announced by Frogwares as a standalone story inspired by the weird fiction of H.P. Lovecraft, but with more focus on combat and exploration than before. The gameplay is a third-person shooter that leans into survival mechanics. Players can scavenge for weapons from the 1920s, balance limited resources, and fight off a mix of ordinary foes and strange creatures drawn from Lovecraftian mythology. There's also an optional investigation system that lets players dive deeper into mysteries, uncover secrets, and solve puzzles if they choose. The Sinking City 2 builds on its Lovecraft roots with bigger combat scenarios, changing environments, and a survival mindset that asks players to think about both danger and discovery as they work through Arkham's mysteries. Devil of the Plague is set in a grim medieval world where disease spread alongside something darker. An ancient force known as a Sog has returned, twisting people and land with corruption. Players step into the role of Plague Doctor who belong to a hidden order trying to contain the outbreak. Town feel abandoned or barely holding on, and each area carries signs of fear and decay. The gameplay mixes third-person shooting with survival elements. You can play alone or with other, exploring village, collecting supplies, and fighting infected enemies. Guns help, but it's not just about shooting. Light sources, rituals, and teamwork are key to surviving. With limited resources, planning matters more than rushing in, and some missions focus on cleansing areas or performing rituals. Instead of relying on loud moments, Devil of the Plague builds pressure through environment and teamwork, giving players a darker take on medieval survival.
In the dark. Never stay in the dark.
Cthulhu: The Cosmic Abyss takes place in 2053 after a deep-sea mining station in the Pacific suddenly goes silent. Authorities suspect something more than a technical failure, so an occult specialist named Noah is sent to investigate. The search leads to an underwater research facility and eventually to the ruins of Relay, a city long tied to Lovecraft's myth. Gameplay is in first person, mixing investigation with action. You team up with an AI called Key to study environments, gather evidence, and understand symbols connected to ancient myths. Combat is present but not constant. Some situations make you decide when to fight, manage limited weapons, and understand what each clue is telling you before taking action. Developed by Big Bad Wolf, the team focuses on mixing cinematic storytelling with open-ended investigation. Their past narrative games show strong world-building and dialogue, which fits well with this kind of immersive adventure. Psych Rift is an indie action-adventure set inside a once-secret research facility where strange experiments have let something unpredictable slip through. Scientists were exploring psychic powers and dream manipulation, but whatever they uncovered warped both minds and surroundings. Instead of a familiar story setup, players face a complex blend of science, mystery, and unexplained phenomena as they explore broken labs. Gameplay is first-person and combines exploration with physics-based puzzles and bursts of action. Players encounter unusual devices left by researchers, use them in inventive ways, and parse cryptic clues that slowly reveal how the facility changed over time. Combat happens but isn't non-stop. Some situations test decision-making rather than raw reflexes. Psych Rift mixes atmospheric design with mystery and hands-on mechanics that encourage players to think about what caused the facility's collapse and what might still be lurking inside. Perceptum focuses on an unusual case involving a family that vanished without a trace soon after moving into a new home. Instead of a typical investigation game, this title asks player to think like a medium who tries to uncover hidden traces and secret inside a quiet house that feels out of place. Familiar rooms begin to change in subtle ways, and certain objects or reflections reveal clues you might miss at first glance. Gameplay is first-person and centers on exploration, environmental puzzles, and a unique mirror mechanic. A special mirror lets the player see things that are otherwise invisible, helping reveal hidden paths and forgotten details. At times, closing your eyes lets you pick up sounds or cues that ordinary sight doesn't catch, adding another layer to how you read the space around you. Perceptum is developed by Duck Reaction, an indie studio working to blend atmosphere and investigation in a way that keeps tension subtle rather than overwhelming.
What the hell happened to these people?
Please! Oh God, help me!
What the hell have you people been doing down here? I thought you said there weren't any more survivors.
Nothing's changed. We stick to the plan.
This place is falling apart! Water's flooding in! Oh my god!
Shoot it! Stay away from the water. They come from the water!
Deepest Fear is a sci-fi first-person shooter set deep under the ocean inside a mysterious research facility named Neptune. Instead of surface bases or crowded cities, the story unfolds 7 miles below the waves, where an unfinished project has upended everything and left unanswered questions about what went wrong. Dr. Danny Carroll heads into this underwater complex to uncover hidden secrets tied to a dangerous experiment. The gameplay blends shooter action with immersive sim and Metroidvania design. Players encounter enemies that can emerge from any water source, and a real-time fluid simulation makes water movement part of both threats and opportunities. Variable State develops the game using Unreal Engine 5, building on past narrative work while pushing into deeper action mechanics. The team draws inspiration from games like Metroid Prime, Half-Life 2, and System Shock 2, aiming to combine atmosphere with layered exploration and storytelling. Cinder City is an open-world tactical third-person shooter from Big Fire Games and NCSoft. It's set in a dystopian future version of Seoul, where skyscraper, real district, and advanced tech come together in a seamless world built with Unreal Engine 5. Player explore area inspired by places like Samsung-dong and Nonhyeon-dong, as mission unfold in a sci-fi alternate timeline that blends real locations with creative world-building. Gameplay runs in third person and focuses on tactical shooting within a shared online environment. Players move through open city zones, take on missions, and join large-scale battles that require teamwork. Gunplay aims to feel solid and deliberate, with customizable gear, drones, and combat suits adding options beyond simple shooting. As an MMO tactical shooter with detailed open-world systems, Cinder City promises a mix of cooperative action, exploration, and narrative hooks that lean into its setting rather than dramatic horror, giving players a grounded yet ambitious experience. Explorers set sail toward a cursed island in the Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, a co-op action-adventure where treasure hunt quickly turn into something deeper and stranger. A squad prepares on their galleon with weapons and gear before entering dense jungle terrain filled with ruins and hidden path. As the team moves inland, the line between what's real and what's imagined starts to shift, forcing everyone to question what they're seeing and who they can trust. The game supports up to 4 players working together. You choose your gear, explore changing terrain, and face both treasure and unexpected dangers. Supernatural forces can twist the environment and enemies, so teamwork and quick decisions matter as much as combat. Developed by Ace Team and published by Nacon, the project blends action, adventure, and co-op survival elements into a world inspired by classic cosmic myth ideas. At an isolated polar research station where something has seriously gone wrong. A psychologist arrives to check on the crew, only to find the facility in chaos and the people inside affected by a strange breakdown that blurs logic and reality. Instead of relying on familiar settings, the game uses the harsh frozen world and abandoned labs to create a tone that feels specific to its own story. Gameplay plays out from a first-person perspective with a mix of survival and intense combat that pulls ideas from classic action titles. Melee weapons and improvised tools play a big role, and players can manipulate heat and cold to their advantage, using fire or freezing surfaces to solve puzzles or change how a fight goes. Developed by Obelisk Studio, the game blends intense action with immersive storytelling and strong atmosphere. The team includes developers who have worked on several well-known titles, and they designed Displacement to combine physical combat with psychological mystery, all set against a harsh, frozen backdrop. Project Spectrum is a tactical first-person shooter from Team Jade, the studio behind older classics like Delta Force. Instead of a normal war setting, the world in this game has warped regions called Ember Zones. Areas changed by a mysterious force that reshapes buildings, terrain, and how people act inside them. Gameplay centers on squad-oriented combat with both PvE and PvP elements. Teams of agents enter Ember Zones with weapons like assault rifles, shotguns, and craftable gear, facing off against enemy creatures and rival squads. Instead of non-stop firefights, players balance aggression with coordination and map control, picking roles and using cover or angles to their advantage. Project Spectrum mixes strong team play, changing environments, and a mix of human and environmental challenges, so each session feels fresh while keeping the focus on strategy over spectacle.
Can you describe the sound in the recording?
Sorry.
Let's go back to the start.
I remember the wind. Strong wind. What the hell happened here?
We got company!
Twin sisters Mio and Mayu Amakura return to the abandoned Minakami village in Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly Remake, a rebuilt version of one of the series' most remembered entries. The village once held a ritual involving twins, and traces of that past still linger in broken houses, narrow paths, and old shrines. The story centers on the bond between the sisters as they uncover why the village was sealed off and what happened to the people who once lived there. Gameplay still revolves around the camera obscura, a device used to capture spirits through photography. Timing matters when taking shots, especially during close encounters. New camera options like zoom and filters expand how players search for hidden details. Exploration moves through tight interiors and open courtyards, balancing investigation with moments of direct confrontation. Instead of relying on loud horror tricks, this remake focuses on mood, sound, and the fragile connection between the sisters, letting tension grow naturally as the mystery unfolds.
Long time ago, there was a village here that disappeared during a festival, and people who get lost in the woods are called to the village. Do you think this is... What happened?
The ritual will begin soon.
Everyone's dead. Mia, no, stay back, run away.